Illinois awarded more than $170,000 in taxpayer funds to a nonprofit that paid for PTSD injections referred to as the Godshot. But an investigation by the Center Square found that the treatments and its claims not supported by clinical trials, and all of that grant money is going to a clinic owned by the nonprofit's founder. Welcome to the States. I'm Greg Bishop. In the past decade, government grants to nonprofits and the number of nonprofits that receive tax dollars, it has doubled, and that's raising questions about whether public dollars are being wasted. Joining us to discuss his investigation into one of these nonprofits here in Illinois is the Center Square investigative reporter, Jared Strong. Jared, thanks for taking time. It's just an absolutely incredible story, and it seems to be just a very small slice of the grand scheme of what the investigative unit has found here at the Center Square. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, this article is part of our new investigation into nonprofits across the country, and we have a huge database that we're scouring for signs of fraud. Big increases in revenue, big salaries to executives, and that's how I stumbled across this one in Illinois. Basically, there's a doctor in the Chicago area, Eugene Lipoff. He's a pain doctor who believes that he can sometimes cure people of their PTSD with 2 injections deep into the base of their necks. Now, it's an anesthetic that he says calms the nerves that are associated with our fight or flight response, a reset, as he calls it. People who advocate for this procedure say it's akin to rebooting a computer. And Dr. Lipoff says he's done it to dogs as well, and that he's been able to alleviate women's hot flashes with it too. So some people who have had the shot call it miraculous. Some say it didn't do much of anything for them. It's still being studied.
It's still being studied, and I think it's something that obviously, as we delve into this, if it's private dollars, somebody wants to go and try this for themselves, or maybe there's a nonprofit that's not getting tax dollars, surely that's an option that they have. But I mean, these are tax dollars that you guys are finding are going through this company. Tell us about Erase PTSD Now and how much they've gotten in recent years.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it's funded through the state of Illinois, partially through lottery proceeds, through the Veterans Cash Grant Program. And Illinois has given it about $170,000 in recent years for the procedures at one of Lipoff's clinics at the discounted rate of $950 per injection. When Erase PTSD Now, the nonprofit, applied for the grants, it claimed that nearly half of patients achieve full remission from PTSD, which is not backed by clinical trials. In fact, an early clinical trial found that the injections had no more effect than a placebo. Further, the most recent application that they got $70-some thousand for, it didn't mention that all of the Illinois grant money would be going to the founder of the nonprofit. So without knowing more about the intricate details of how Erase PTSD Now has been spending its money, it's difficult to say whether it's violated any rules.
Well, in your investigation, you found that it seems to be the latest name in a series of different types of name changes with different addresses bouncing around all over the country. You went pretty deep into this, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff to track down, court cases, records requests from state government, of course. What we found was that Dr. Lipoff, about 20 years ago, when he started doing this procedure and thinking that it might help people with PTSD, he founded a nonprofit that was supposed to help promote the procedure. And in court documents, we saw that he's hired like 8 PR firms to help promote it as well. Anyway, the nonprofit sort of languished. It changed leadership. It changed cities until 2021 was when it moved back to Chicago, then known as, and then changed its name to Erase PTSD Now, got a new executive director and started taking in tons of cash. Before it had been getting less than $50,000 a year, and all of a sudden it was getting millions. The first year it jumped up, it got $3 million. So that's also when Erase PTSD Now started paying Dr. Lipoff to perform the injections and for other unspecified services. It's given him more than $2 million in the past few years. So
Yeah, I mean, it's called, they call it the Godshot, but apparently its technical name is the stellate ganglion block. But it also just so happens to be the name of a book from this doctor you looked into. Tell us about some of his advocacy for this, and there was a point in that book about an inappropriate joke with an employee about her hot flashes.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's now claiming it was a joke. So yes, he released a book called The Godshot earlier this year, also sort of meant to promote this procedure. And in it, he recounts when he first discovered that it might help alleviate hot flashes in women. And the story he tells in the book is that he had a nurse in his clinic who was suffering hot flashes and became unbearable in the office. And so one day he had had enough. He finally said, as he's recounting in his book, take the shot or I'm going to fire you. I'm paraphrasing. But he says that she took the shot, and lo and behold, the hot flash symptoms were alleviated, and she was the most cheerful person in the office. Now, when I asked him about it, he said, I was, that was a joke. It was in jest. I wasn't actually threatening to fire her, but that's not exactly how it came across in the book.
It's pretty fascinating. Again, you delved real deep into this particular issue that shows the lengths that the investigative unit at the Center Square is going to go to follow this money and to see exactly where it's going. A little bit more on the Godshot here. You talked to another individual who's had this done. Let's hear what they had to say.
It's a shot into the stellate ganglion nerve, basically right there, and it stops everything for a little bit. It numbs so it can reset. So it's basically the same thing as an epidural. And what's believed is during that point of numbness, it's resetting the amygdala. So you're not as reactive to the different your sleep problems can go to rest, hypervigilance, all that sort of thing kind of dissipates, and you're more relaxed, and it's reset afterwards.
It's shared in a way that kind of makes it authoritative, right? First off, who was that? And second off, what are you finding out about whatever clinical trials there may be about this Godshot?
Well, that is the executive director of Erase PTSD Now, Colleen LaCosta. She lives in Florida, and she and another board member talked to me about getting the shot. Neither of them have been diagnosed with PTSD, but they said that it helped calm them. Another interesting note about the executive director is that she actually has two full-time jobs, similar jobs. She's also the executive director of another nonprofit in Florida where she lives, and she's collecting two roughly $100,000 a year salaries from those nonprofits. So, there's anecdotal evidence that the shot helps some people, but there's ongoing clinical trials that have shown moderate help, but not to the extent that they claimed when they got state grant money, that it could, result in the full remission of up to half of the people who are treated.
And again, that's the story here. We've got a growing number of nonprofits that are getting your tax dollars all across the country to do a variety of different things. Jared, obviously, when you look at some of these 990s, as we talked with managing editor Art Kane earlier this week, you're not just going through and grabbing random ones. You guys are looking specifically for some key indicators that could point to fraud. If you're getting tax dollars and you're paying a CEO of the nonprofit $300,000 or more, that's going to raise some substantial questions here.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're looking for big increases, big blips, where a nonprofit might get a whole bunch of money compared with the year before, and then maybe they fold a year or two later. We're looking for executive salaries that occupy almost all of the expenditures that a nonprofit has. There's a whole bunch of key indicators that we're checking through this data with, and it's 3.5 million lines of information about these nonprofits. So we're going to have stories for months about these nonprofits.
It's going to be incredible, and I can't wait to see it and highlight to taxpayers out there exactly how their dollars are being spent. And there's been a lot of focus here in Illinois on nonprofits receiving tax dollars. not just with the issue of an ongoing criminal case against a state legislator accused of steering a contract to a nonprofit that was paying her daughter. So that criminal case is ongoing, but also just with watchdog groups. You talked with a former state representative, Jeannie Ives. She's also a veteran, so she had some interesting things to say about this. What did she have to say should happen here?
Well, she thinks there needs to be a lot more accountability over these state grants. She's a veteran herself, and she thinks that if this was the cure-all that Erase PTSD Now says it is, that the federal government would be funding it. I mean, this is a big problem. Veterans returning home with this disorder, and if this was a proven treatment, there wouldn't need to be this level of advocacy. There wouldn't need to be hiring of PR firms. The money would just be flowing to it. So you're right. There's a lot of focus on nonprofits right now, but even for someone like Jeannie, who has been looking into some of these grants, she had never heard of this before. There's just so many nonprofits out there that it's going to take a coordinated effort to locate any instances of suspected fraud. And if any of our readers have any ideas, please feel free to pass them along to us.
And absolutely, you can email Art Kane at thecentersquare.com. Go to AKANE at thecentersquare.com, akane at thecentersquare.com. If you know of a nonprofit that you feel should be investigated, Jared, I think just kind of looking at how deep you went on this particular story should give confidence to our readers that the team takes this seriously and will go the extra mile to get the story right. It's pretty incredible, and I think anything last you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I mean, this is a story that was long in the making. I first saw it in the data maybe 2 months ago, so we spent a lot of time piecing this stuff together. We nail down all the details and make sure everything's accurate and that we're telling the right story.
Absolutely. We'll look forward to more stories like this from the investigative unit with the Center Square. Greatly appreciate them and Jared for his time.